Now say thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No,
Now bump bump.
You gotta bump. Gotta bump bump.
Yeah.
Gotta bump bump. We just need to get it out of the way right away.
Helicopter, helicopter. Paracofer, paracofer. Helicopter.
John's favorite sound, folks. I had to put that up there. Have you had any company come by, John? Have you had anyone?
FBI, open up!
Any visitors?
Not
Welcome
on the day of days, Marv. Not on the day of days or whatever
to
it's called.
Unsuitable Language. Number
Who
some
knows?
number. We just
Yeah.
stopped counting.
We had to. It's just so many times we're telling you
So
that the
many,
world's going
it's
to
like-
end and you're not listening.
400 probably by now. Hey, have you got a great Easter joke that you always tell in your act? Have you?
No, I was just telling you that one this morning where I was like, he didn't see a shadow this morning, so we've got 50 more years of Trump.
What?
Yes.
Jesus didn't see a shadow up on a cross
not
like
see a
that?
shadow.
You think when the sun come up, it would be a shadow, but maybe he was asleep. Maybe he passed out right after he said,
I've got a bunch of Jesus jokes, but
Lord,
do we
forgive
have
them. They
time?
know not what they do. Doesn't he say that? Doesn't he say something?
Yeah.
Please, Lord, they know not what they do. They said.
That's what they say he said, but I've always said the Bible is
Sam
up against
Kinison
telephone.
said that he said this. Sam Kinison, when they said, Jesus, we're sorry that you have to die for our sins. He goes, why wouldn't I have to die if you get a ladder and some pliers?
What? I didn't hear.
Sam Kinison. They said, Jesus, we're sorry that you have to die for us and take on all of our sins. And Jesus says, I don't have to die if you just get a ladder and some pliers and get me down from here.
Right. A ladder and some pliers. Yeah.
Sam Kinison, ladder and pliers joke. I should tell you, like Christopher Walken, I'm going to start doing my act always like that. My first joke will always be, I took my wife to an escape room. She'll probably get out. She's good at puzzles.
Is that what you're saying? That that was the first escape room, that they trapped Jesus in the first escape room and he didn't get out?
Ariel Castro had the first escape room. Everybody knows that.
Ooh,
and I think those girls, they should be getting residuals.
They should. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I didn't hear anything about escape rooms until.
Yeah.
Well, maybe they were around. We should check that.
Ariel Castro's
like pretty,
the girls.
You know,
Michelle Knight and all of them. Amber, what was her names?
Think about that light bulb though. The goes like they're watching Charles Ramsey
right away,
and they're like, oh,
why aren't they getting
a board game or we could lock people in the warehouse for fun.
People are like, that's mean. What is mean about me wanting to give those girls money? Why is that mean?
Somebody said that was mean.
They say I'm mean. That's not mean.
If you get residuals.
Okay, when I said the joke, I watched that episode about Ariel Castro, the girls being kidnapped, and it was the worst episode of Hoarders I've ever watched. That might be borderline mean. Well, and then Michelle Knight came to the show and she heard that joke, and people said, "Oh, that was horrible for her." And he goes, she's had worse days, but that's mean. But she has.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about necessarily. It's callous, I guess. Yeah.
Callous.
I don't know about mean.
Word. Charlie Callous was a great comedian.
Like, if they'd be mean if they went up and said something to her. Or,
it'd be mean if I said something like,
"Finish him."
That would be mean.
They're all three still alive though, right?
Yeah. What was it? I remember Michelle Knight. The other girl had a TV show on the news. She's still there. What's her name? Is it Amber something or
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
Amanda Berry?
Amanda Berry. I was going
And
to
then
say Amber Heard, and I know that
third
that
girl
like,
was Gina something, right? Wasn't there a Gina?
yeah, DeJesus.
Yes.
Is that who? It was?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So those poor girls, they went through hell.
So, but you're right. I don't remember. We have to look that up. We have to look when I don't. I wonder if that's where they got. Well, at least a part of the idea was from that. That's not. That would be.
Have you ever?
Like? All right, time to get to work. I got this idea. Let's go. I mean, it's just like, okay, well, we got to start building out a factory and an old factory, and
Well, you
all they
remember
did
when
was make that
they
into
found
a
out
business.
they found out Guantanamo Bay was costing us so much money, and I recommended they go to Ariel Castro and ask him how he kept people in a place that long without hardly any money at all. What his plans were, because could have been a resource, but he was dead. So
I don't know. Do they have Aldi in Cuba?
they should open an Aldi's next to Guantanamo Bay. It's actually closed down, I think. Now they opened it back up for some to import. Like they spent millions of dollars to drive 13 people down there on a plane, and they rebuilt the place. And then they're like, "Yeah, this is no good. Nobody's paying attention to us here. We need more cameras." So they took them, and I think they sent those guys to El Salvador, which apparently is the place to be if you want to run a terror camp.
Yeah,
they have the coolest dictator. The coolest dictator.
SCOTUS just ruled on something, right? Is that what you were saying this morning?
What?
That
Yeah,
SCOTUS
Supreme Court said no more alien Enemies Act. No more Alien Enemies Act, the 1798 law that Trump was using to avoid due process. Here's the rub, John. If these guys are truly all terrorists and shit, they could easily just take him to court and got the warrants and everything, and everyone would have had their say in court, and then they could have deported him. Very easy. The system isn't hard when you got evidence like this, right? But they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to just grab people and take them to a foreign country and drop them off in a hellhole, because that's easier not to have a process.
Well, I tell you what the due process is that they used. They have pictures of his body with all of this MS-13 gang ink on it, and that is evidence enough that guy is criminal number 10.
Is this guy a terrorist?
That's all they need is tattoo
He's a
ink.
terrorist. Yep. Get in the car.
Because they know that that's how they identify each other, is with their tattoo ink.
Their tattoos. Very good.
FBI, open up!
And they're not even, they're saying they're not even identifying themselves. They're like, these guys just walk up and they got masks over their faces and they say, "Hey, we want to talk to you." And you're like, "Get the fuck out of here." And resisting arrest.
Because they know when they're in a bar and they see someone with a specific tattoo on them that looks like a swastika or a bent cross, and they're like, "Hey,
Chicago,
we'll talk to you."
Chicago Bulls hat and a hoodie.
Right.
You've got that on, you're a terrorist, motherfucker. If you're wearing the Chicago Bulls hat, you're a terrorist.
You got the Raiders on, you're going to jail.
You are. Hey, it's me. Terrorist. I'm a member of MS-13, John.
Yeah, I ain't here.
And then when we asked the president, what does he say?
You are fake news. You are fake news.
That's what he says.
So this is my question, though. So MS-13, they'll have, or is this specific? He's talking about their MS-13, or is this the Venezuelan gang that he was after?
Veraga or something. The Venezuelan gang too.
Okay.
That's the
And
one
that's
that
who
we're.
this guy's being
That's
part
the one
of.
we're supposedly at war with. Trump said we're at war with that gang. And
Okay.
that justified the use of the uh, Alien and Enemies Act. And then it was just, was it Neil Sedaka who sang this?
FBI, open
Is
up!
that Neil Sedaka?
I have no idea what that is.
Gangster's Paradise?
Oh no, that was isn't that Coolio or Weird Al?
Weird
It
Al
was either
did
Coolio or
Coolio's,
Weird Al.
a version of Coolio's.
Maybe
Yeah,
it's
that's what it
Coolio.
was. Right. We did it. We got it figured. All right.
Hey,
So you're sitting home
so
minding your own business, watching a little Pornhub,
right
and
as you
they're
do,
knocking on your door
yeah.
FBI, open up!
and they're saying ICE and FBI and all this. And you're just, what are you guilty of? Of being a Chicago Bulls fan. That's all you did wrong. And trust me, that's enough.
Well, I tell you what happens. I keep going.
What happens
I
then?
think, hey, this is part of the like the new 4D Pornhub. You know, hey, we're really gonna ramp this up. You know,
And then they
you
start
gotta
going through
get
their
it in quick.
spiel.
Yeah, maybe that's their new. You
In the
know,
criminal
you get paid for
justice
the extra
system,
premium.
sexually based
Right.
offenses are considered especially heinous.
I'm not
In New
talking
York
about that.
City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite
That's a
squad
whole
known as
nother
the Special
level of
Victims
role
Unit.
play that I'm not
These are their
comfortable with, Clark.
stories.
And they say, what's your name? What do you say?
Well, I definitely don't say no English because that's a bad thing.
My name is Jeff. My name
What
is
did he
Jeff.
say?
My name is Jeff.
I
And you say,
mean,
which way should we go to the unmarked van?
This is the way.
This is the way. That's what they got masks on.
I don't know, man. You know, they.
So here,
This is my question. When did it change from? Wasn't it the Alien Sedition, or was it always Alien Enemies?
Alien
They
Sedition
changed
Act was
it.
the first law that
a different
John
one.
Adams passed because he didn't want newspapers writing bad articles about him. So if
Okay.
you wrote bad things about him or did some activity that insulted the administration, you could be arrested, and that was John Adams. And then they passed the Alien Enemies Act
Okay.
because we were thinking about going to war with France and England. Were taking our boats, our ships. Remember?
Yeah, the lovely John Adams, who.
But John Adams was smart enough to realize, well, we were a little piss ass country, and if we fought France or England, it would have been a bad plan. In 1798, we weren't much of a, we didn't have a navy or anything, so
Yeah.
it would have been like
Round two.
round
Fight.
two. We would have fought and not probably done well.
Right.
I mean, if
Because
we
at
tried to
that
start a
point, we didn't have France's money.
yeah, we didn't have a navy or even an army,
Right.
really. We came up against these guys. England would be like,
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
yeah, that's what would happen. And that's, we would have been a lot of this. Oh, we lose. We lose.
But SCOTUS said that, hey, there needs to be due process then, right? They need to read them their rights. They need to,
Well, here's
show
what,
evidence, more evidence, or what?
yeah. It started with there's one guy, but it's the whole flight. The whole flight.
Yeah.
Was illegal because lawyers are suing them because those people didn't get due process, and we have to just, the government won't give any information whatsoever. They're like, these guys were all terrorists under the Terrorist Alien Enemies Act. We can, once you're identified as a terrorist, we have a right to deport you and do anything we want with you because you're here illegally. And even if they were here legally, see, that's the thing. They're using this, they're here illegal. if you're here illegally in the United States, it's a misdemeanor, so it's not really a crime. Okay, and misdemeanors are not considered crimes. But the right side says, "Oh, if you're illegal alien, you're a criminal." Right off the bat, you're automatically a criminal, which is not true. A misdemeanor is not a criminal act. Being here doesn't make you illegal. It means you didn't follow the rules. You're subject to a penalty, but you're not technically a criminal. 34 felonies and a adjudicated rape makes you a criminal, just in case you're checking. There's some guy that has that. They could deport him if they liked, but he's an American citizen, supposedly. But the court ruled, the Supreme Court hasn't ruled yet, but they did say stop deporting people under the Alien Enemies Act until we rule. So we don't know how they're going to rule yet. But some judges have ordered them to stop deporting people because they were just going to start it up again. This Tom Homan is such a douchebag.
And
I mean,
so
he's the guy that said, I don't care what the judge says. That's what he said.
right. So that's my question. So what are they going to do, the Supreme Court and anybody else, if Trump just says no?
They can. The judge has the right to charge them with criminal contempt,
Okay.
and with that, he can assign his own lawyer and bring charges against the people in the administration, and they have a trial.
So then
And if
the
they're
Justice
convicted-
Department fires the judge.
They can't fire the judge. Judges can only be impeached.
She impeaches the judge.
They can't. They'll never have the votes in Congress. These are federal judges. They have to go to Congress for an impeachment hearing.
Well, I'm just saying none of that is going to happen because Trump's just going to say no. I mean, he's doing the
They
whole.
can order the marshal. They can order the marshal office to arrest people. Now, you're saying, well, what if
They're
they
going
just
to
say
arrest
no?
the president of the United States?
No, you can't arrest him because the Supreme Court said he's legal. He can do whatever he wants. But you can arrest
It's
everybody
his
that works for him.
order.
You can arrest everybody that works for him. If he's doing it as an official act, it's considered legal because they kissed his ass really bad.
Can I just say once again, thank you
Supreme Court.
so much, Merrick Garland.
Yeah, for not doing your fucking
You
job.
rock. Way to drag your feet.
His position was
Great
more
job.
importantly than reacting, it's more important to uphold the norms of the office and move in a judicious and educated way instead of just handling the crimes that were being committed. He didn't want to be a reactionary DOJ. He
Right.
wanted it to follow the norms.
But do
And
you
the norms-
understand that we were not dealing with normal times?
Yes. I mean, it's clear now.
It was clear then.
Yeah.
It was clear then. It was clear when he was back when he was saying beforehand that the election was going to be rigged and he was priming people to do that. It was clear what he was wanting to do. These people are smarter than that. They wanted to abide by, they still keep wanting to abide by all these norms, and I get it. But he is crushing all of the norms. That is his whole thing.
Yeah. Agreed.
So he's got to get over.
Shut up!
I'm trying to. I wish I could.
Oh, it's sad. Yeah, Merrick Garland was a horrible choice. Joe Biden fucked us with that.
But no, my point is nobody is going to do anything.
What about
Spider-Man?
maybe Spider-Man?
Yeah, maybe The Rock. Maybe The Rock. Will do something.
Maybe I think the guy that played Luke Skywalker He's on our side.
Oh yeah.
Let's get Luke up in a tie fight.
Okay, well, yeah. We can do that.
So they ordered that Kilmar they have to facilitate his return. And did you see what the White House did then with the newspaper from the Times?
No.
They wrote over top of it. Let's get a picture of that up here. Let's pull it up. It was particularly galling what they did.
Well, petty.
Let me pull it up here. Yeah, here it is. Very petty. Very petty. Very Tom Petty.
Hey, don't say that about him. He's an American legend. Don't throw him in with these people.
Open image. All right, I'm going to pull it up here. Open image, I said. Why isn't it opening? Oh, New York. I did it. Okay. Present. Here we go.
I'm not laughing because I could do any better. It's just
we got to make it bigger.
I'm Andrea.
Shut up, Andrea.
Boutique handbag brand Andy, and this is why I
How'd you
switched to
get? How'd you get on my screen, Andrea?
I tried 3
Shut
other
the
platforms
fuck up,
for
Andrea.
shopping, and I remember my
Okay.
if you don't enjoy this podcast, I don't understand what's the matter.
Well, anyways, you see where it says senators? I'll make it big screen. See where it says senators mess? Senator meets with, they crossed out wrongly, deported Maryland man, and it says MS-13 member man in El Salvador, and it said he's never coming back.
Okay,
That's what the White
it's
House
very,
did.
very small. It's very, very small.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I have good eyes.
Speaker meets with wrongly deported. They changed it to with
I believe
deported
you.
MS-13 member man who is never coming back. That's what it says. That's what
Wow.
our White House presented. That's the level of repartee coming from the White House is there. You know.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage.
That's
President
Trump.
This group. You know what this is? You know how they keep saying that DEIs aren't, or they keep saying DEI, is it diversity, equity, inclusion?
Yes. It means anybody that's not white male.
Well, this is the DEI. All of these people are the DEI version of the white person that are not capable of doing their job.
John,
and
when Trump came in, he promised everything is meritocracy.
Yeah, as to who will bend over and let Trump do whatever he wants, autocracy.
You're not getting this job if you're not qualified. That's what they promised us. And then they filled every position with people that weren't qualified.
Right. I mean, it's just and how the media is not pointing this stuff out every single day that none of these people are capable, including the president of the United States. They're all way in over their head. It's obvious.
Yes. All Trump is good at is making money. He's making money, baby.
Because they can make money.
Oh, we got to read the president's. He just tweeted for Easter. You want to hear it? I'm sure it's going to be heartwarming.
I definitely do. I want to hear what our leader has to say.
Let's read it together, John. Boop. Boop. Get big. There we go. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Frankly, I'm the real Donald Trump, including Happy Easter to all, including the radical left lunatics who are fighting and scheming so hard to bring murderers, drug lords, dangerous prisoners, the mentally insane, and well-known MS-13 gang members and wife beaters back into our country. Happy Easter also to the weak and ineffective judges and law enforcement officials who are allowing this sinister attack to our nation to continue, an attack so violent that it will never be forgotten. Sleepy Joe Biden purposefully allowed millions of criminals to enter our country, totally unvetted and unchecked, through an open borders policy that will go down in history as the single most calamitous act ever perpetrated upon America. He was by far our worst and most incompetent president, a man who had absolutely no idea what he was doing, but to him and to the person that ran and manipulated the auto pen, perhaps our real president. I'm sorry. And to all the people who cheated in the 2020 presidential election in order to get this highly destructive moron elected, I wish you with great love, sincerity, and affection a very happy Easter. What? That's a beautiful sentiment, isn't it? John, are we there?
I only heard I wish you with great love and the happy Easter, and then I wish you with great love at the end. I didn't really.
He seemed a little bitter. I think the word is bitter. He was a little bitter.
Well, the list of grievances keeps getting longer. Do you realize by Christmas he's going to have to do 2 posts to get in all the grievances?
But it always ends with love, John.
Right.
He
And
always
starts
ends
with radical left.
Wishing all you pieces of shit love.
Right.
Nothing but love for you people.
So by Christmas, it'll be turning on the Republicans. Well, you have a line in there about the Republicans that have turned on him, or are they going to all stay with him?
There was so much in there; it's hard to remember. Call them out, bring them out from the corner.
Well, we just gotta figure out how many more grievances that they're going to add, because right now, I mean, nobody can do anything.
He's going to whip him into shape. Basically,
okay, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say the Supreme Court has said Trump can do whatever he wants. The Supreme Court said
You can't touch this.
You can't touch it. You can't touch him.
Right. So, but you said that the judge can. What can he do to all the people around him? He can arrest them.
He can order. He can charge them with criminal contempt, and then have his own. He can pick a lawyer he wants to bring charges against him and have a hearing on whether it was criminal contempt or not.
Okay, and then Trump pardons
There's a lot of remedies for that. There's a lot of remedies. The remedies can be like the White House could just go, oh, you know what? You're right. We're sorry. So if they fight it all the way, it could go all the way to prison. They could get jail time.
Not even going to get that far.
No.
All Trump's going to do is pardon them. That's all he's going to do.
Trump's going to come all over him.
They came all over
and then he's going to be like, I hereby pardon everybody for all crimes, future, and anything that I tell them, to do. And boom. Maher. 20.
We're back.
Okay.
I paused it. No, I didn't pause it. I hit pause, but it doesn't pause.
Well, it was a little bit before 29:08. So probably about.
If I edit it, it takes forever. People will just have to watch the blackness of our hearts.
Look into our souls.
Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him.
So that's
Are you
my
the
point.
greatest?
Nobody's
You know what
not
I'm
gonna
talking
do
about?
anything. He's going to keep going because he either pardons the guy, and if he does arrest them, he'll arrest them, and they'll go after all the low-level people. But they ain't going to. And is the Supreme Court really going to? They have no power to impeach the president, do they?
No, Congress has to impeach.
You want to play? Let's play.
So, I mean, it's just like It's not even a shell game. It's just like a circle jerk.
Well, the Supreme Court used to have power, but then they gave it all up when they passed that new thing that anything the president does while he's official act is legal. They threw away their power,
Right. So
and they made
that's
they
what I'm
made the
saying.
president all powerful. But the Congress could always impeach him, but they're
Come
not.
on.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's not going to happen.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my God. Stop your fucking lying.
Why are they lying, John? All right, let's talk
So
about.
I gotta,
So Kilmar, even if they get Kilmar back, the White House has made a big point of it. He is never coming back to Maryland with his family. If they come back to the United States, they're going to grab that guy and deport him somewhere else.
right. They're gonna get their way. So I guess the larger question is, what is the first big thing? And when I mean big thing, I don't even know how to put this.
It's going to make a country general strike, and we got to shut this fucking country down. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I guess what big thing Trump has to defy? Okay, the Supreme Court does this order. Trump says no, and all this. I guess what big thing has to happen to kind of get everybody to?
I imagine when his
know.
corruption, gets exposed and people believe it at that point. Because here's the thing: why did we get rid of tariffs? Because it was the easiest way for a politician to get money from people. If you control tariffs, you can make all the deals you want on the side to get rid of a tariff. So your Apple phones, you want your phones released from the tariff. You go to Donald Trump and you say, "I'm going to donate a bunch of money to your library if you release the tariff on phones." All right, but then I'm a less scrupulous guy. I'm like, well, we need these rare minerals that we're not going to get from China now because China said they're not going to give us any more rare minerals, and it's the only place we can get them, right? So we're really fucked. We're talking about the minerals that run our computer, the magnets and everything that we can't have. We're not going to get those anymore because of Trump's stupid trade war, and it's going to hurt us all a lot down the road. When people economically are realizing that Trump is doing all this for self-benefit, we're going to have to shut the country down. It's the only way we're going to be able to stop him. We have to meet his power with our power by refusing to work and do things that make the country work. We have to stand up against him. That's all. That's the only way we're going to stop him. General strike.
You think it's the thing that will trigger that with the regular Americans is what again?
His corruption is fully
His
exposed,
corruption.
and it's costing everybody money. Like you're not going to be able to buy food. Everything's going to be ruined. He's destroying farmers markets. He's destroying our ability to have the imported items that we need to make our
So
country work.
you're thinking that the back door is them donating money to his library and buying his coins.
That's just
and stuff,
one
right?
way. Some guys
One
are
of
just
his
going to give him
powers,
fucking money because he opened that cryptocurrency bullshit. They're
Yeah,
going to buy
yeah.
those things from him, giving him money.
And then
He's
he's
got
going to
all
drop
those-
their individual tariffs per how much money gifts they
Yes.
give him, right?
Whatever favor they do him, their tariffs will disappear. In his last time he was elected, he had over 200,000 deals that he made with China over those tariffs, where he gained personally.
There's a few problems though. First is, when will the media start actually? I mean, there's a couple. Don't get me wrong, but when are they? I mean, are we going to see the true sign when Fox News turns on him? What would it take to do
it's going to
that?
have to take. It's going to have to take that
Fox
because
News to turn on it.
there is an entire ether of media outlets that support everything Trump does, and they just lie.
So in a way, if you think about it, we got to talk about, because he is so, and I know it sounds weird to say this, but he is so
He threatens the regular. The liberal media gets threatened every day by him.
So we got to think about what is his ultimate heel turn going to be that throws America the switch. You know what I mean? It's got to be something so heinous that I don't know that the exposure of just because they know he's a
When he
greedy
starts
fuck.
arresting and killing, when he arrests Americans and takes away our due process to just starts pulling us off the streets, that's
He
going to
is
be
doing that.
I know, but so far he's only done it to one American, and they fixed it. They did arrest an American citizen and threatened to deport
Well,
him.
it
The mom
depends on
the mom had the birth certificate.
right, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think it has to be something bigger than that. I mean, I wanted to. It's almost like
Kent State,
you know,
bigger. You mean?
No, like Pablo Escobar bigger. Like, you remember what Pablo Escobar did to the Supreme Court in Colombia?
Yeah, he tried to kill them all.
Yeah, and I mean in the other end of he just arrests them all. Like, he arrests the Supreme Court, or he arrests this judge, or Pam Bondi seeks out a warrant to arrest this judge.
And they keep
I'm
trying
talking
to
about
impeach.
something like that.
They've already put impeachment. They're trying to impeach him already.
I'm sure. But I'm talking about something like that. Like, well, today the President of the United States moved to arrest the Supreme Court. I think that would be a big enough thing. I mean, what do I know? But
well, they're saying coups. They're saying these coups, they don't work like that anymore. They just make everything ineffectual, and then they just keep taking more power and more power. Like he's gonna take the Congress's power away from Congress. And right now, the Republicans are just giving it to him. They don't even.
Yeah.
You don't even have to ask for it. They're bowing down to him. Like, how many of these Republican representatives are saying, Doge is doing a great job, and I support Doge completely? A lot of them are just saying that, and their constituents are booing them and shit. But so what? They're still, Doge is still doing it. Did you see on Rachel Maddow's show that Doge had gone into the National Labor Board and was stealing all the data? And the first thing they did when they got in there was shut down all the protection systems. And within 10 minutes of them turning all those systems off, Russia was trying to hack into it. But the only thing that stopped us was we had in the system was a default that no one from another country could get into the system. But they tried.
And so, and that will be an avenue that them and him can use to exploit and say that the elections are not safe. Oh, I've been telling you that these elections have been rigged unless I win, and then it's not rigged. You know.
Yep.
And that's the thing. It's still even some of the regular, like, everyday happy on the news media, they know that all this shit is not okay, and they don't do or say anything.
I think they're saying it. I'm hearing them say it.
There's some.
See, that Caitlin Collins doesn't.
Okay,
Caitlin Collins doesn't take shit from them.
Okay, that's all well and good, but you got to pay for CNN.
And Jim Acosta got fired from CNN, and now he's got a new job with a new place. I mean, there's people speaking out against him.
Like,
the number one podcast now. The number one podcast now is an anti-Trump podcast, Midas Touch. They passed Joe Rogan and all those people, and they're out there screaming to heaven of the crimes of Donald Trump. They're the number one podcast in the country.
Okay, I'll have to listen to it. I haven't listened to it, but I'm talking about.
It's a bunch of different people. It's a network.
So, and I don't get cable. So, but a lot of these news places that they'll have two different news things. So they'll have like a regular, news that they're doing headlines. But they're not. Some of these aren't paid. They're like live TV sort of things. And it depends on where you get your communication and your news.
Yeah.
Because they're just like sports in a way where
local networks were run by that guy that works for Trump, that Boris Epstein. Remember him?
Right.
He works for Trump. His company owns all those local network TV stations. And when they put stories on, they're highly biased towards Trump. Like all these small towns have a network TV station, a channel 3 or whatever. They're highly skewed towards what Trump says because Boris Epstein's company owns them all. Twitter is nothing but right-wing rage right now.
Yeah. Oh, Twitter's terrible. Twitter's the word. Twitter's the word. It's a cesspool.
Yeah. And supposedly, Elon's days in the White House are numbered, but what does that really mean? It doesn't really mean anything if he's not physically there. He still can do all the input and everything.
I mean, he's just, he's just a part of the problem. Hey, let's get to your protest video. I want to see that.
All right.
You said you went to a protest.
Yep. Let's go. Facebook. it. It should be on Facebook by now. All right. This was the guy. Now I caught it. This happened at the end of the video. Let's see. Can I make this bigger? No, this is not it. Okay, hang on. Let me pull up. I got to find us and hit the button. Okay, I got to get rid of that. And I'm going to put this on top. Can you see it? Can you see it, John?
Yeah, I can see it.
Need more cowbell.
Right?
What did your sign say?
Go Bears!
Oh, this is the guy that's going to start shit with us.
Okay.
Okay. Did you see the guy at the end of this video? This guy here?
Go
Yeah, him like that? Yeah.
He is going to start shit with us.
Okay.
All right. And I didn't have the camera going. I thought, this guy is going to start all kinds of trouble. So I'm going to start videoing. And as soon as I turned the camera on, he fucking shut up and left.
Okay.
Let me get to that video. Here he is calling this woman a bitch.
You say he was tipsy?
Yeah, I turned the camera on and he shut up. What happening was this. He kept saying over and over again, I served 2 tours. And he pulled his card out that you get for serving tours and stuff. Kept pulling his card out, showing us he did 2 tours, and one in Afghanistan and one in Iraq. And he goes, you can't take my tours away. You can't take, he's a drunk dude. You can't take my tours away. You fucking bitch. Kept calling us fucking bitches. But then he started saying it right to that girl, and then he started getting like real demonstrative, calling her a bitch. And so I took my camera out and started videoing, and you saw what happened. He left as soon as I started videoing him. And then there was another guy. There's another guy came out across the street, a big bald guy, and he started threatening everybody on the other side of the street and giving them the finger and getting in their faces. And then this really big guy, heavy set, like Louis Anderson looking dude, wanted to fight him. So they got in the middle of the street, and I'm like, oh, I got a video of this. And then people broke it up, and the guy got in his car and left. I'm like, oh. And then a Kia swerved at us and sped up real fast like they were going to plow into us. But then they turned off and went away. That's the only things that happened bad from a liberal perspective, at least.
Yay, go to a protest. Get almost mowed down by a Kia.
Yeah, at least it wasn't a Tesla.
That's true. I just
I need the video more. That's why you got to
would
go
be
with
there
me.
to
We
have
could,
fun and make fun of people and stuff. And
dude.
even
We
the
could
people on my
interview
own
people.
side.
We could interview people if we could go together. So I'm holding my sign, and it's hard to do camera stuff, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Yeah,
Because people want to talk, you know.
I'm sure they do.
There's a sign. Oh, I don't have us up. I got to put this picture up. I got, where we at? Where are we?
What did
I
your
lost
sign?
us.
Did you have a sign or no?
I lost us here. Hang on. Yeah, I had a sign. My sign said, first they came for, fuck. Is this picture up?
No, you got to
Can you
remove
see?
that. Okay,
Is
yeah,
there a
I see it.
picture up?
Yeah.
It was all the way down the street. Both sides were full of people.
Okay.
And there were some really good signs, and I can't remember what any of them said, and I wanted to video them, but I didn't get it.
And this was where?
Highland Square. But we need to start interviewing people like the Good Liars do. You know, that would be
Yeah,
fun.
I wouldn't mind doing that.
I was coming up to one of the Cleveland. What 50? It's 50. It's 50-51. It's 50 states, 50 protests, one group, one idea, and the idea is to stop Trump. You know what I mean? So there, all over the country, there were these protests, and they're just being organized by Mobilize, Indivisible, and 50-51. 50-51 is what it's called.
Yeah, but well, okay, I get that.
They're at the Free Stamp a lot, and they're every other week they're at Bernie Moreno's office. They protest across the street.
But don't you think that it should be like maybe not just that, but like a two-part message of
Oh no!
yeah,
Every week it's a new theme.
that's not what I mean. Like, okay, I get it. We're stop Trump. But also, how can we address the issues that got Trump elected in the first place? And how can we figure out how to fix those things?
Economics, you're saying,
help everybody.
The economy, right? Well, first of all, Trump is killing himself with these tariffs. No
I
one's
got that.
No one's approving it. But what we need to do is tax the rich people and make them pay their share.
Well,
And
that's part of
solve
it.
It would solve a lot of our problems if
Don't
there
get me
wasn't
wrong.
this elite class that using the trickle down economic theory that has never worked.
I get that. And that's part of it. Don't get me wrong. That's part of it. But there's also a part of it that people in the rural areas and the small towns that still want to live where they want to live and still want to make a living where they live and not having to leave where they want to live, that's where they're going to have to start investing in those places.
Yeah.
And there needs to be an investment.
Biden was doing that.
I agree. I understand that. But the message
all you
wasn't
get from
out.
Fox News is they
started.
sit and they go, everything was such a mess when Trump took over, and he's finally fixing everything. And it's like, he isn't fixing anything, but it doesn't matter. We got what we need is, first of all, we should pass a law that the media has to start presenting. Every network has to present both sides of an issue. When Reagan took over and they were allowed to get rid of
fair
it.
doctrine. Yeah.
The fair doctrine. We need a fair doctrine.
Yeah.
We need it.
Good old Reagan. Oh, yeah. Reagan was so awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
He was so
we
awesome.
We need a fair doctrine in the media. And then both sides have to get their issues presented. And there's at least some balance there. You know, we need that. We need to get, like you're saying, we need to go to those people who are still wanting to live in an economy from the 1930s and pull them into the future and train them and teach them. But that all takes money. We have to spend money to make these things happen. And austerity, which is always the Republican plan when we're in office, when Democrats are in power, it's austerity, 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 cut, cut, cut. But when they get in office, they spend money like a drunken sailor. And that's what's going to happen. This new budget's going to come out. It's a $5 trillion increase in the deficit, even though they're saying they're cutting $4 billion off of it. Yeah, $4 billion, but they're increasing it by $2 trillion.
And that's why I'm saying that. Do you hear all these things coming out of like your standard Democrat?
Yeah, I'm hearing it. Chris Murphy's saying it.
Yeah,
Bernie Sanders
okay.
is saying it.
Chris Murphy, Bernie Sanders. There's a couple other guys, but is Hakeem Jeffries? He's the leader of the Democrats. I mean,
Well, he's saying it, but he's not being effective right now, I don't think. Nancy Pelosi's not saying it, though. We can't attack Trump. We can't win by saying Trump's a piece of shit.
I agree. I'm saying the other part of it is that when they have an opportunity to kind of really get in the way and muck things up, and they just roll over. Like I don't see anybody being a Mitch McConnell out of any of this group.
We need new leadership in the Democratic Party, obviously.
I mean, you
That's
got to
gotta be
have
organic,
somebody who's like,
It's got to be organic. You can't force it.
you know
It's
what it
gotta
is,
happen.
Mark? You know how on every basketball team you knew that you need that guy that kind of gets underneath the other team's skin and
Mhm.
picks at him and pokes at him. We don't have that guy. We need that guy. We need that Dennis Rodman, or we need that. You know what I'm talking about?
I think we need a leader that's going to stand up and
Well,
not
that
just
too.
tell us what we want to hear, but tell us how to fix things. And that's where we've had some leaders that have always done that, but then we always fail them when they leave office. We don't finish any of the plans we start that are very good plans.
Well,
because we've got half the country that thinks no matter what you do, you're evil. We got to get past all this partisanship.
yeah, and you're right. Part of that is the media, and part of that is also the people who. So it seems like the Democratic Party is split between those people who are genuinely trying to do good, and those
Yeah.
other people who think, in part of the ways that, okay, I've been here a long time, I'm owed something, and so I'm next in line. The next in line attitude.
That permeates the Democratic Party too.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like
we need to publicly fund elections. It shouldn't be. You shouldn't be able to buy elections like we're doing right now. We need to cut that shit out. But the people who want the money are the ones making all the rules. All right, we got it. You know what? Trump's physical. We need to talk about it real quick. He's in great shape. 6'3", 224. Right? He's in great shape. What do you got to say?
I mean, you say this, but he goes golfing every weekend. He's getting exercise. I mean, he's getting, every time he hops in that cart and zooms away, his right foot, I mean, it's got to be a monster.
Well, so you're saying?
I'm saying looking good, buddy.
He is exactly what they're saying. He's that great athlete at 6'3",
I mean,
224 pounds. He's a lean, mean fighting machine, right?
Has he not won like 2 golf tournaments in a row?
Okay. They're saying he's 6'3", right?
Yeah.
Here's a picture of him standing next to Musk. And
I mean, think about it. He's got to be tall. Barron's 7 foot.
Shit, I fucked up. I gotta present this. Share screen, entire screen, click, sound, share. Okay. Add to stage. All right. Here's a picture of Trump standing next to Elon Musk and JD Vance. He's 6'3", Trump is. These guys must be 6'8", right?
I mean, well,
let's
know
find
Elon
out how tall.
I mean, look at
how
Elon.
tall is Elon Musk?
Heels. Elon's got heels on, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, he does.
What a schmo.
How tall is Elon? Elon is 6'2", John.
Yeah, and with his freaking 70s chunky heels.
We know that Donald Trump is 5'10", 274, because when he was arrested, they weighed him and measured his height. But they are saying he's 6'3", 224.
So you're telling me that he lies about his height?
Well, look at this picture, John. 6'3", right here. Elon, 6'2". Donald Trump, 6'3". Is that what it looks like to you?
Well, I'm saying even a 6-foot man next to a guy with like chunky heels on is going to look smaller.
He's not going to.
How tall is JD
He's
Vance?
an inch taller. Supposedly he's 3 or 4 inches shorter than Elon Musk.
I mean, I hear JD Vance is a giant, so he's got to be at least 6'5", 6'6". He could be. They said JD had offers to play basketball at Yale.
JD Vance is 6'2" also.
Well,
and Trump is taller than both of them. According to the physical, Trump is taller than both of them.
I mean, maybe he's got flat shoes on.
Look at the picture, John.
I'm trying to see this from the MAGA point of view. If I was the Fox host, that's how I would explain this. Well, they've got shoes on. You know.
How tall does Trump look next to these 6? He looks 5'10". And you know why we know he's 5'10"? Because he was arrested, John. And when he was arrested, guess what they did?
Sure, you may have all these facts and all this visual evidence. Then why would the doctor who's sworn by God tell us that he's 6'3" and 212 pounds? Sworn by God. He's got to take an oath. Under God. He's got to take an oath.
Under God. Hippocratic oath.
Right? And as we all know, today of all days.
Bruh.
I don't get that enough at home.
You know what?
You're taking away my screen, bruh.
You know what's going to happen to me because I exposed Trump here on this podcast?
What?
He's going to.
He showed his penis?
He's going to get me. He's going to hire Liam Neeson.
I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
That's what Trump's going to do to me.
What would you do if that came true? Like he knocked down your door and then he just has you a cage tomorrow, naked in the White House, naked in the Oval Office.
Sounds like whatever he says is what I'm going to do.
Walks in with his Diet Coke. What's that?
Sounds like I'm going to do whatever he says at that point. Could you bring your butt over here, Mr. President?
You like protests, huh?
I'm going to do this.
Are you sure about that?
I can smell you.
I am going to commit great crime. I'm going to bust nut in water tower.
All right, let's move on. So Trump is lying about his size, John. He's not 6'3". Barron's a tall motherfucker, though.
That's what I'm saying. Barron's like
Bill
7
Maher,
foot. You know,
Bill Maher
Maher
went and visited Trump. We didn't talk about that. And he came back and he said that Trump was very engaging and he liked him. And he thought that's what we have to do. Both sides have to come together and find common ground.
Bill's also
he ripped him pretty good this week, though, even though he thinks, Trump treated him nicely. And that's what everybody says. Trump always treats you nice when he's in your face. And then when you leave the room, he's fucking trying to fuck you over.
Right?
When you leave the room, it turns into Star Wars.
I love
So you now know Trump is going to figure out a way to go after HBO or something like that with Hollywood.
Oh, yeah. He's already hired Mel Gibson, John Voight, and Sylvester Stallone to take care of Hollywood.
Wait, John Voight's still alive?
Yeah.
I thought he was dead.
Yep, he's still alive.
Yeah.
He's the number one bullshit guy, though.
Oh, you see this guy? Actor, don't get me wrong, but I
number one bullshit guy. He do the wee woo
We will. He sure does.
What we need, here's what we need in the American press. If we need another report about how Gene Hackman died. That's what we need. One more. We need at least just one more about the investigation about how a man with dementia who couldn't feed himself after his wife died of the hantavirus, how could he possibly die, John?
Breaking news! Breaking news! Gene Hackman and his hot Asian wife from a long time ago have mysteriously died, and their dog died too. Crazy.
Yeah, crazy, because no one was there to feed him, and he didn't know what he was doing because he had dementia.
Yep.
But what if we just had another investigation? That's what I'm looking up on
Real
Pornhub.
quick before we do the power rankings, get out of here.
You gotta hurry. We're already over an
do
hour.
Yeah, I know. Do the talk about the Medicare Medicaid thing. What they did. What happened with that?
Okay.
Just so people
They
can
have passed a resolution
look it up.
agreeing on their budget. Now they have to go back into it and decide where they're cutting. And they've ordered the what's the name of the committee again? Health and Commerce Committee.
Oh. Yes.
Health and Commerce, is that what it was?
Yeah.
I
Health and
blanked
Commerce.
out. I deleted. I turned off my fucking thing. To cut $880 million out of their budget. Now, their entire budget is almost entirely in charge of Medicare and Medicaid. Medicaid, of course, is for people who are under 65 who need help, like cerebral palsy or MS or cancer, or your parents died when you were young. And that's Social Security, but it's also part of Medicaid.
Right.
They're going to cut that money, and they're going to cut Medicare. That's people who are over 65 and had to get in health care. They're going to cut $880 billion out of that budget. But they're saying they did not cut the budget for those things. They're only cutting that committee's budget. So it's just wordplay. Because the committee, basically, that's all they're in charge of. So if they cut $880 billion, it's coming out of those things. But their position is, of course, we're not cutting Medicare and Medicaid. We're cutting Health and Commerce, or whatever the committee is called.
Just move it over to another place and say something else. It's just another. All right. So let's do our power rankings for this week. Who do you got at like bottom 8, 9, 10?
Well, RFK went into the, according to the Onion magazine, he went into the factory that makes Sour Patch. He said, "Show me where the autism is. Where are you putting the autism in the candy?" So he's working hard to find the autism.
And
he's
for the outbreak of measles, are we
by
gonna
the
say
end of
10?
summer, he's going to tell us where autism comes from, John. We're going to find out.
Oh, all right.
So I'm putting him at 10.
At 10,
for his
RFK.
autism.
All right.
RFK. Thank God he brought measles back, John. He's promised by the end of the century he's going to eradicate measles.
So the plague, or are we going to go Zika virus? What's the money on what's the new fashionable?
Yeah, what is going to be the new plague? I don't know. There's a lot of bets on it.
Yeah.
Ebola could come back.
Yeah.
Pam Bondi's looking pretty ineffective. She's just repeating whatever Trump says and not getting anything done, apparently.
So you got here at number 9, huh?
Yeah. What do you think? Bondi at 9?
Yeah. You know, I think lying in the weeds here is Kash Patel. I'm waiting for something big that he hasn't really flexed his muscles or done anything yet to kind of show the president that loves him.
He got fired, you know.
Kash Patel did?
From the ATF. He was also in charge of ATF. And they said,
I didn't know that.
He lost that job because they said he never showed up for it. He never actually was doing anything with the ATF. So they gave it to someone else.
All right.
So he was in charge of 2 agencies and they got rid of him. So Patel was 8.
Yeah, I think he's got to do something. He's got to show some love to Donald Trump.
Tom Homan was all over the airwaves talking about how we have the right to deport anybody we want whenever we want and fuck the law.
There we go. I like him at number 7.
And he's still trying to get AOC arrested for interfering with the ISIS job. ISIS looked very bad lately. A lot of videos of them breaking into cars, grabbing little kids, going to schools, trying to grab little kids from schools.
Oh, then
you
we
seen
got to
that?
put Ice or we got to put Christy Nome up there, right?
Yeah,
She's at least 6 or
she's
5.
in charge of Homeland Security, though. She's
Aren't
been
they?
what is that called when you cosplaying? She dresses up
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the thing of the
Oh,
week is.
yeah, I think that's more than Trump. I think that goes all the way up to 5. I mean, that puts her right
All right,
into
Christy Nome is
Trump
5.
territory.
Everyone hates Caitlin still. Caitlin Levitt.
Press secretary.
Yeah.
That's a good spot for her. Number 6.
Okay.
Because she can't actually crack the top 5 into the top 4 or 3 because she's still a woman, and that's how they see it.
Yeah. It's good. That's a good point.
But apparently,
Okay.
we will know how bad the economy is and how bad it's affecting the White House if they all turn brunette.
I think
Because
JD Vance might be the worst so far because the Pope wouldn't meet
keeping
with
up with
him.
that blonde hair.
What do you think is number 1? JD Vance, because the Pope said, nope, we're not even talking to you. He sent a surrogate to talk to him.
Oh, I thought JD Vance did talk to him today.
No, he talked to the deputy.
The Pope
Deputy
did?
Pope.
Oh.
JD,
Oh,
the Pope
JD
wouldn't
Vance
talk to
talked
JD
the
Vance.
deputy Pope.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pope
okay.
wouldn't talk to him. And he's just
Oh.
he's actually a Catholic, and the Pope wouldn't meet with him.
Oh, he is?
His wife's Hindu, so
Well, let's move. Where do you want him at?
I think that's the number 1 thing, to be snubbed by the Pope. What do you think?
There we go. Okay. Wow, moved him up there. And I think Elon moves down to 4. We haven't heard any Elon talk in a little bit.
Just that his company is still taking a big shit, and they want to fire him. The company wants to fire him as leader.
Yeah,
The board is after him.
everything's really coming up Musk.
His group gave information to the Russians, or tried to. So our security, Pete Hegseth is in a lot of trouble. Everybody around him is getting fired. Have you noticed that?
No.
For security leaks.
Like Trump's firing him?
Somebody's firing him. And the people are getting fired are saying it's not us, it's Pete Hegseth.
So who's who's in
everybody's
charge?
getting fired for security leaks.
Is it the chief of staff?
Yeah. 3 guys this week got nailed.
So we got to put her, or what is it? Susie Wiles, is that her name?
Who's she?
I thought she was the chief of staff.
Oh, she might be. But Hegseth is the one that's in charge of all that. He's looking real stupid. He's looking real stupid.
Hegseth fired them. So I say we'll put Hegseth at 3, or you want him at 2 or 3?
3. Who's left?
I mean, who's the only
Trump fuck ups this week?
Constantly there, sycophant, always there. I think Stephen Miller. Yeah.
He sounded real dumb.
I mean, that's not a disqualification. That'll move you up the list.
When he keeps saying that this guy is a gang member and we will not be questioned, and they're saying the judge said he wasn't a gang member. Did anybody do something stupid when the Florida shooting? Was there a stupid response to that?
Yeah, it was the stupid response by the president. He said it was a shame, but he still likes the Second Amendment. I think that was pretty much I don't think that's not verbatim, but it's pretty close.
Who's our trade agreement person? Oh, Trump wants to fire Powell.
Oh yeah, the Treasury Secretary.
But he's not. He said fuck you basically to Trump.
Yeah, he's not like
he's not on this list.
He's not in the MAGA list now.
Who is trying to? Trump tried to get Harvard to bow to his knee, and Harvard said, You threatened Colombia. Colombia bowed to you, and then you still fucked Colombia.
Right.
So we're getting the idea that you're going to fuck us no matter what.
Whoa,
So we're just going to
Harvard's
say
smart.
fuck you back.
Whoa, Harvard's smart.
Yeah, because Colombia got fucked anyways.
You know, JD
So
was
Harvard,
like, well, Yale won't do that.
Harvard's like, it looks like they're going to fuck us anyways. Let's tell them to
Right.
fuck off first.
Right. Preemptive fuck off. We're Harvard. All right. I scored
So
the point.
whoever is negotiating between the universities, I wonder who that is. Let's say it's Stephen Miller. Let's put him at 2, right?
Sure. Yeah. All right. We got the performer of the week. Who said the most Trumpian thing this week that wasn't Trump? Marjorie Taylor Greene kicked some people out of her, or was that last week?
She's always disgusting, isn't she?
Yeah, but that's our performers of the week. They got to be Trumpian and disgusting. Else you're not the performer of the week. Any congressmen say anything stupid or crazy or?
Yeah, there's a guy who said that the Trump tax cuts are going to save 80% of the American people money, which is not true at all. Trump wants to have another round of nuclear talks with Iran, considering that we had one and he threw it out,
It's only good when he suggests it.
How about this Steve Witkoff dude? He keeps making deals with Russia that Russia keeps breaking, and he keeps saying that's Zelensky's fault.
Is this the new negotiator that they have?
He's the negotiator, the real estate guy that negotiating the Russian war.
All right, perfect. He's a real estate guy negotiating a Russian war. That sounds like a Trump performer of the week.
And he's getting his ass handed to him. Every time he makes a deal with Putin, Putin goes, you idiot.
So Steve Witkoff.
Putin goes,
Oh, hello there.
oh, hello there.
Steve Witkoff is the performer. We gotta start. I gotta look up these. There's like 2 or 3 of these economic guys that are on TV, and I keep forgetting their names because they're just creepy. And so I got to get their names for us because they would be in this power rankings, maybe like at 11 or 12, but they're getting up there because you're getting more TV time, and they're saying really dumb shit.
Let's tell our viewers we went to the open mic at headquarters. We don't know when the next one's going to be because they're adjusting because of the Cavalier games. They're adjusting their schedule. There's going to be one a month, they said. It was a nice room. They're going to work hard at making it better. And it apparently a friend of Mike Polk's runs it or something. Did you hear that?
No.
I heard that from somewhere. I think Chris Clem said it. I'm not sure. But
okay.
It was a good room. We had fun.
And
the guy who does the voice for the general was there. Yeah. Impressive. And a very big popular guy, Noah Ryan, was there. He's big on Instagram, and he does a great Trump impression as a baby.
Oh, the guy that went up early. Yeah.
Yeah, he went up first. He really didn't do any impressions, but he does do those sometimes. So it's time to bring the boys in, right?
It is. Oh. All right. Hey, are you putting your bets down for WrestleMania?
Wait a second.
Now say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Do what? What for WrestleMania?
You put down your bets.
I don't even know what it is. Hulk Hogan in 3. Who's going to be the most racist? Hulk Hogan in 3.
You know they booed him last time? Last time he showed up at one of their events, he got booed.
He's a heel now, right? He turned heel?
No. He went as Hulk Hogan, the good guy.
John Cena turned heel.
Yeah, John Cena turned heel. But Hulk Hogan, when he came out as Hulk Hogan, as not NWO shit, they booed his ass.
Good. He's a piece of shit. All right.
My prediction is this summer when the natural disasters happen and they've cut so much money in the budget for disaster resources and people are in a lot of trouble, that's when they will turn on Trump.
Oh, and FEMA has already denied Arkansas funds for their tornadoes that hit. FEMA told them no. And they told the state of Washington no for, I don't know what happened there, but something bad happened. But they were told no. So FEMA is denying funds to people now. That'll be a big deal.
Yep.
When the forest fires start and there's nobody to put them out, it's going to be a big deal.
Well, nobody, the red states aren't going to care about California, but Florida will care.
Yep. He tells Florida no. But he's not having another election, so he don't give a fuck.
We'll see you next week.
We've already voted all we're going to vote, John.
Yeah, I know. We're done voting, remember?
All right. We'll see y'all. See you next week, hopefully. There's no promises with unsuitable language.
No
because we're unsuitable.